بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدًا عبده ورسوله يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما أما بعد فإن أصدق الحديث كلام الله وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. We start off by praising Allah Jalla Jalaluhu for the countless blessings that He has bestowed upon each and every single one of us. We thank Allah Jalla Jalaluhu for allowing us to live for another day, for allowing us to gather here today on the day of Jumu'ah to remember Him. We thank Allah Azza wa Jal for everything that He has bestowed upon each and every single one of us. And we send our prayers and salutations upon our beloved Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. My dear respected brothers and sisters in Islam, I'm sure we all know about what is going on around the world right now. The situation of our brothers and sisters in Palestine, what they are going through in Gaza, in the West Bank, all over Palestine, our brothers in Sudan, our brothers and sisters in India, in China and so forth, what they are going through on a day-to-day basis, and what they have to go through, the atrocity, the horror, the killing and murder of children and innocent individuals, Muslims, our brothers and sisters that are being murdered each and every single day. Innocent people who have done nothing. And they're being bombed, being obliterated. Their whole entire town and city is being destroyed. Being killed, children are being killed. And this is the situations of our brothers and sisters right now in Palestine, in Gaza. People that are helpless. They can't even help themselves. And people that are playing the victim with all the weapons in the world are destroying them. And they have nothing but hope in Allah Azza wa Jal. People that are being driven out of their homes. People that are starving. Their water is cut off. Their food is being stopped from entering into Gaza. Electricity. Going days and days without a morsel to eat. And I'm pretty sure you have seen the video of the Philistines that were lined up, waiting for a piece of bread to eat. And even that area, that bakery was destroyed. Starving each and every single day, to a point where one of the children of Gaza, one of the children of Gaza, he said, I wish I could die right now. Why? Because in Jannah there will be more food. This is the situation that they are going through. Being murdered. For what? For believing in Allah Jalla Jalaluhu. الَّذِينَ أُخْرِجُوا مِنْ دِيَارِهِمْ بِغَيْرِ حَقٍّ. They are being driven out of their homes without any justice. إِلَّا يَقُولُ رَبُّنَا اللَّهِ. Except that they are saying that our Lord is Allah. And this is the life that they are going through each and every single day. Not knowing whether they will live to see tomorrow. Not knowing if they will be able to eat a piece of bread the next day. And there was a video that I came across. A group of children. And the person that was interviewing them asked them, what is one thing you wish for? And subhanAllah, each and every single one of them said, I wish I could have a piece of bread to eat. I wish my father could come back and be with me for another day. I wish this. The little things that we look down upon, for them is something so great. Just a piece of bread to have in their mouth. And we are here living in the comfort of our own homes, being able to eat each and every single day. Not one meal, not two, but maybe 3 or 4. And in between our meals, we'll eat snacks. But our brothers and sisters across the globe, whether it be in Africa, whether it be in Palestine, whether in Gaza, in Hind, they were struggling to have a bite to eat. And they are struggling to sleep at night, not knowing whether they're going to be killed or not. And these are our brothers and sisters that need our help, that need our du'as, that need for us to stand up and speak on their behalf, to spread awareness, to let people know what is going on in those regions, to speak up for them, speak up for the people that don't have a voice. We have the ability in this land that we are living in to speak up, to spread awareness, to try to stop the oppressors from oppressing the oppressed, to try to stop them from oppressing our brothers and sisters. The Prophet ﷺ, he tells us, as believing men and women, we are like one body. That if one of our body parts get hurt, we should feel that pain. And are we feeling it? Are we waking up in the middle of the night to put our hands up to Allah Jalla Jalaluhu and asking Allah to relieve them of their pain, and asking Allah Azza wa Jal to free them from the pain and suffering that they are going through? Or are we selfish? And do we don't care to even share a message or share a video that will help make awareness or bring about awareness to the world so they can actually see what is going on? Or are we just selfish, living in the comfort of our own home? We should ask ourselves this. Those people over there are being oppressed. Our brothers and sisters are being oppressed. But yet one thing we know for sure, that when they go, Allah Azza wa Jal has promised them a better gift, a better life after this life. The shuhada that have passed before us, they are still alive. And when they are dying on these videos that we see with our own eyes, yes, it's something that hurts us. But at the same time, Allah Azza wa Jal is taking their souls at that very moment and bringing them to Jannah. فَرِحِينَ بِمَا And they are rejoicing. فَرِحِينَ بِمَا آتَاهُمُ اللَّهُ مِنْ فَضْلِهِ And they were rejoicing, their souls are rejoicing in Jannah for what Allah has given to them from His bounties. وَيَسْتَبْشِرُونَ بِالَّذِينَ لَمْ يَلْحَقُوا بِهِمْ مِنْ خَلْفِهِمْ And they are rejoicing for those that they have left behind that have not yet joined them. Those that are going through the same struggles that they went through. أَلَّا خَوْفٌ عَلَيْهِمْ وَلَا هُمْ يَحْزَنُونَ That there is no fear and no more sadness after this life. For them is Jannah. For them, Allah wrote for them Jannah. They will receive that reward for the patience that they have gone through and what they've been going through and what they've gone through for so many years. And when their souls are taken to Jannah, the angels will gather and the angels will say to them, Salamun alaykum. Peace be upon you. Bima sabartum. For what you have, for your perseverance, for you being patient. فَنِعْمَ عُقْبَ الدَّارِ. And what a beautiful last home for you. At least we know for our brothers and sisters that are going through these trials and tribulations, Allah is going to give them the best thing that any of us could ever wish for. And that's to be in the company of Allah Azza wa Jal, in the company of the Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And while they are being killed and murdered, all of their sins are forgiven for. As our mother Aisha radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, she said, radiyallahu ta'ala anha, she said, لا يمر القتل بذنب إلا محاه. That no murder will not pass except a sin will be forgiven for. And this is the guarantee that our brothers and sisters are given. That they will be forgiven for. And they will be given a home in Jannah. And yes, while we are in the comfort of our own homes, and yes, with everything that we are seeing happening each and every single day, we should use the opportunity and the gifts that Allah has given us to speak up on their behalf and continue to make dua to Allah Azza wa Jal to free them from their oppression. But we know for a fact as believing men and women that Palestine, Gaza, al-Quds will one day be free. With surety, there is no doubt in that. وَمَا النَّصْرُ إِلَّا مِنْ عِنْدِ اللَّهِ الْعَزِيزِ الْحَكِيمِ. That the true victory will be with Allah Azza wa Jal. And this is a glad tidings that Allah is giving to each and every single one of us. That Al-Quds, all of that area will be free and we will witness, some of us will witness it. But we know for a fact that one day that area will be free. But we should still continue to stand up to speak on their behalf. But while we are asking and trying our best to stop the oppressors from oppressing our brothers and sisters, we should also think about ourselves while we are oppressing ourselves in this world, in this land, in our homes, and so forth. Allah Azza wa Jal refers to the sins that we commit each and every single day as oppression. When you are committing a sin, it is a form of oppression. And in order for us to progress and to change ourselves, to bring ourselves closer to Allah Azza wa Jal, we have to correct these things. إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يُغَيِّرُ مَا بِقَوْمٍ حَتَّى يُغَيِّرُوا مَا بِأَنفُسِهِمْ. That Allah Azza wa Jal will not change the state of a people until they changed themselves. So in order for us, while we are standing here praying for our brothers and sisters that are going through these atrocities and oppression, we should pray for ourselves as well. During these times of trials and tribulation, it should bring us closer to Allah Azza wa Jal and not further away from Him. It should bring us closer to Allah Azza wa Jal. It should push us to pray our prayers on time and so forth. And it's during these times that we should remind ourselves to not oppress ourselves. And in order for us to be able to change ourselves, we have to know what our weaknesses and what our shortcomings are. Al-Imam Ibn Qudama rahimahullah ta'ala mentions in his book Mukhtasar Minhaj al-Qasidin, he says that in order for a person to be able to bring themselves closer to Allah Jalla Jalaluhu, he has to recognize his own weaknesses. And he mentions four things. One of it is to find a mentor. Find a mentor, just the same way that you go to a doctor when you have an illness. The illness of the heart is something that we have to find a doctor for as well. and finding a mentor, a person who understands this science and how to help you recognize your shortcomings, is something that we have to find. And when we find that person, whether it's a teacher, a mentor, and so forth, we should hold strong to them and accompany them. As the Imam Malik, rahimahullah ta'ala, his mother would tell him whenever he would go to sit with Rabi'ah al-Ra'i, he said, learn from his manners before you learn from his knowledge. Because manners will make a person better and will bring a person closer to Allah Azza wa Jal. The second thing and way of knowing your weaknesses and your shortcomings to better yourselves is to find a friend that is truthful. A friend that you can accompany that will tell you the truth. He'll tell you, or she will tell you how it is. They wouldn't be afraid of telling you your shortcomings. And that's the type of friend that we need. As the Prophet ﷺ says, إِنَّمَا النَّاسِ كَالْإِبِلِ الْمِئَةِ, that people are like 100 camels. لَا تَكَادُ تَجِدْ فِيهَا رَاحِلَةً. And it's very difficult for you to find a transportation that will take you from point A to point B. Because when it comes to camels and you're traveling in the desert, not every single camel can take you from point A to point B with ease. But once you find that camel, hold on to it. And the same thing with a friend that is there to remind you of Allah Jalla Jalaluhu, especially in these hard times. Remind you that these are certain things that you need to work on. And that's the friend that you have to hold on to. The third thing is to accompany, to be in the community. Surround yourself with people. Because when you're around with people, you'll see things that you shouldn't do, and you'll see things that you can improve with. And you learn from being in the community. And the fourth thing is learning your weakness through the eyes and words of your enemy. And you see this going on all over the world. And we know that when it comes to the statement of your enemy, what is their job? It's not to uplift you. Their job is not to make you, to praise you or anything like that. They're going to find every fault in you, and they're going to mention it. And when they mention it, yes, perhaps it's going to hurt us in some way, but we have to realize that when they mention it, there might be some truth to it. And that Allah allowed those words to come out of the enemy's mouth so we can hear it, for our ears to hear. If someone came to you, why are you so arrogant? Why are you so boastful and all these different things? Maybe I am. Maybe I am all these things. And Allah wanted me to hear those words through the voice of a person that hates you. Your haters. And I'm not saying that you should never stand up for yourself and defend yourself, but I'm saying at the same time you should reevaluate yourself as well. Maybe those things that the person is saying about you is actually true. So you should learn those things, and once we are able to identify our shortcomings and weaknesses, only then we are able to change. Only then will we be able to progress as an ummah and better the conditions of ourselves. So as we are mourning our brothers and sisters that are being oppressed, we should continue to stand up for them and speak on their behalf and make dua for them. But at the same time, don't forget yourself in your own dua. Think about your own condition. And we ask Allah to allow us to stop the oppression of the oppressors upon the oppressed. But we also ask Allah Azza wa Jalla to allow us to stop ourselves from oppressing ourselves as well. أقول قولي هذا أستغفر الله لي ولكم فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين وأصلي وأسلم على المبعوث رحمة للعالمين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. My dear respected brothers and sisters in Islam, once we figure out what our shortcomings are, the first thing that we begin to change in our lives is our hearts. The Prophet ﷺ, he tells us in a very famous hadith, إِنَّ فِي الْجَسَدِ مُضْغَةً, that in the body itself there is a flesh. إِذَا صَلُحَتْ صَلُحَ الْجَسَدُ كُلُّهُ, that if that flesh that is inside of your body becomes upright, good, then the rest of your body will become good as well. But إِذَا فَسَدَتْ, but if that flesh is corrupted, فَسَدَ الْجَسَدُ كُلُّهُ, that the body as well, your actions and so forth, will also be corrupted. So the first thing that we start off with when we are trying to change ourselves is to change our hearts. Change our hearts and change the intentions that we have and we make each and every single day. That when we wake up in the morning, we should make the intention to be better people. People that are trying their best to get closer to Allah Azza wa Jal. Allah Azza wa Jal doesn't care about the amount of good deeds or rewards that you do. But what He cares for us is that we continue to try even when we fail. Once you quit, then you lose. But when you continue to try each and every single day, even though you fail, the reward of Allah Azza wa Jal will be so great that we'll gather on the Day of Judgment. And when you feel as if you have done nothing, and Allah presents all of these things to you, and you wonder where it came from. But it came from your effort. For trying each and every single day. And we know that the mercy of Allah Azza wa Jal encompasses every single thing. And we will not enter into Jannah except through the mercy of Allah Azza wa Jal. Not through our good deeds, but through our efforts and us continuing to try. And once we get our hearts to be where we want it to be, then we start with our actions, the way we carry ourselves, our akhlaq, our manners, our mannerism, and so forth. How we deal with ourselves, how we deal with our families, how we deal with the people that are around us. Once we get our character upright as well, then we should want to give back. We should want to go and do good and share the good that we are given by Allah Azza wa Jal and give it back to the people. And this is what we should do. That we start off with our hearts first. And then we start off with our actions and what we do and how we carry ourselves. As Allah Azza wa Jal said, فَأَمَّا مَنْ خَافَ مَقَامَ رَبِّهِ وَنَهَى النَّفْسَ عَنِ الْهَوَى. And as for those that are afraid of standing in front of their Lord, they will stop themselves from doing things that are disgraceful. Stop themselves from doing things that will cause oppression to themselves. And for that person who prevents themselves, who tries each and every single day, for them is Jannah. And then once you're able to do that, and then you go out to your communities, and you do the khair that Allah has given to you by giving back. And one of the khairs by giving back at this very moment, knowing the situations of our brothers and sisters and so forth that are being oppressed globally, the least, if we're not speaking out for them, the least thing that we can do is make dua for them. That's the least we can do. But I'm pretty sure most of us has more to offer. I'm not telling you what to do. You know what you can do. Allah has given us, each and every single one of us, an ability, a platform, a gift that we can share and do back and give back to our brothers and sisters locally and internationally. If you have a voice, speak up for the people that are being oppressed. If you have social media, which I know every single person has it, why are we not spreading awareness of the situation of our brothers and sisters across the globe? Do we not care for them? We should ask ourselves that. We have that platform. It's just a click of a button. Share what is going on. If you have the ability to collect money to provide for those that are hungry across the globe, do that. But the least that we should do is make dua for them. Make dua for them. But at the same time, don't forget about yourself. Make dua for yourself, because we know for a fact that those that are being oppressed, their reward is so great with Allah Azza wa Jalla, and they are promised Jannah. But we can't say the same for ourselves. We cannot say the same for ourselves. They are not eating, drinking for days. We are eating and drinking for days. They are not sleeping and unable to sleep for days. We are sleeping for hours and hours in a day. So think about our situation. Think about their situation and don't forget about them, but also think about ourselves. We ask Allah Azza wa Jal to make us among those that are conscious of Allah Jalla Jalaluhu. We ask Allah Azza wa Jal to make us from among those that will continue to stand for our oppressed brothers and sisters across the globe in Palestine, Gaza, India, Sudan, and all over. We ask Allah Azza wa Jal to make us among those that will not oppress ourselves as well. Inna Allah wa malaikatahu yusalluna ala nabi. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu sallu alayhi wa sallimu taslima. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad. كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم اغفر للمسلمين والمسلمات والمؤمنين والمؤمنات الأحياء منهم والأموات. اللهم آت نفوسنا تقواها وزكها أنت خير من زكاها أنت وليها ومولاها. اللهم حبب إلينا الإيمان وزينه في قلوبنا. اللهم انصر إخواننا المستضعفين في كل مكان. اللهم انصر إخواننا المظلومين في غزة وفي فلسطين وفي السودان وفي كل مكان. اللهم انصرهم ولا تنصر عليهم. اللهم عليك بأعدائك وأعداء الدين. اللهم آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار وأقم الصلاة.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم